Okay, we're waiting for everybody to come in right now. We've got a lot of people still checking in. This should be a really good event tonight.
Hope so.
No hope involved. This is a well-greased, well-oiled machine about ready to let loose.
Oh, saying that sort of thing is bad luck.
I was thinking the same thing. But no, it's going to go well. Don't worry about it, John. We got this. We got
Okay,
you.
good. Okay, is everybody in now, Emily, or you still have people entering in?
I mean, there's people still coming in, but you can go ahead and get started. I'll just let them in as they come.
Okay, so all right, this is great seeing all of you here. There's a lot of folks in this one, which is awesome. So welcome to the cover reveal event for L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future Volume 39. My name is John Goodwin. I'm the president of Galaxy Press, and I'll be your host for tonight's event. Let me give you a little bit of explanation up front. Writers of the Future and Illustrators of the Future are contests that were created by L. Ron Hubbard originally in 1983 to provide that means for the aspiring writer and a few years later, artists to have their work seen and acknowledged. We're actually in the 40th contest year, and we're releasing volume 39, but we're actually in the year, almost halfway through the 40th year, which is amazingly exciting. 4 decades of accomplishing this purpose that was created by L. Ron Hubbard so many years ago. Just got back from Superstars and from Life Universe and everything, and it's amazing how much Writers of the Future has been embraced as an amazing tool. And I see a lot of people like Scott Knoll down there, who's you're a winner from volume 8 or 9, but he's got his Dreamforge magazine he's created right now. And I just saw him because he's right at the bottom of the page I'm looking right here, but we have a lot of judges, winners. We got Joni Labaki's here. You want to wave, Joni? She's the contest director, and so she's here to also cheer everybody on now in this amazing new cover art. But anyway, so this contest has continued to grow, and we now have entries from over 175 countries. This year in volume 39, we have winners from 9 different countries. We've never had so many before. It's amazing. 2 new countries, Romania and Costa Rica. So we're excited to see as it continues to grow. So tonight we'll be introducing the contributors who helped put all this book together. We'll have then the reveal of the cover. We will make it possible. I know you're going to be disappointed if I don't say this, but we're making it possible for you to pre-order your copy of volume 39. So we'll have the link in the chat as we go along with this. There'll be their cover reveal, a special trailer we created for it. We have a special promotional trailer which covers all of the offers that you guys, if you pre-order, we got some really cool deals that goes with this, that you got great stuff that you get for pre-ordering, just to thank you for that. I'm also going to ask that you stay muted throughout the event tonight so that we can just keep it flowing as best as possible. At the very end, I'll ask everybody to unmute so you can say whatever you want to say. And then just so you know, you can, if I'm sure everybody's familiar with it, but just in case you're not, in the upper right-hand corner, you can toggle between gallery mode and speaker mode. So speaker mode lets whoever's speaking is the main thing you see on the cover of your image. And if it's gallery, then it's everybody that can fit on one screen. There's multiple screens of people on this event right now. And then I will ask that you open your chat so that you can make comments. We also, if you have things you want to say or questions you want to ask, put the questions in the chat, and then I will direct it to either the illustrator, Tom Wood, or the author of the story, Kevin J. Anderson. So with that, we're ready to proceed right now. So first of all, I'd like to welcome Jody Lynn Nye, who's the coordinating judge for Writers of the Future. She's also the co-editor. This is the first year as co-editor of Writers of the Future. So welcome, Jody. Would you like to say a few words?
Thank you. This is a privilege, and I am so excited to see your faces for the first time, and I'm looking forward to putting names to faces. I am so delighted to have been able to put forward the stories that are in this book. You have all done a marvelous job, and I cannot wait to see the volume. I hope you'll be pleased with it. I think you will.
That's great. And the other co-editor is Dean Wesley Smith. I don't know if he's here. I haven't seen him chime in yet. So he was also on this. If he comes in sometime over the next little bit, we'll toggle him in so he can then say a few words. And then Echo Chernick is the Illustrators of the Future coordinating judge. I don't know if Echo made it yet onto this. She was signed up for it. Are you there, Echo?
She's not here yet.
Okay. And then we got Lazarus Chernick also wrote an essay called "What is Art Direction," which you'll find in there. It's a real great article on the value and the importance of an art director and following them. So I don't know if Elko's not here, quite possibly Lazarus isn't either, but that's one of the stories, one of the articles you'll be able to read in the book. We also have S.M. Sterling with this story, Constant Never, Knights, Damsels, and Dragons, Curses and Fates Foretold, the stuff of legends and stories, but unexpectedly perverse. So welcome, Steve. Please wave and say a few words.
Hi. I'm glad this story is seeing the light of day again. I wanted to do Damsels, Dragons, Knights, and Noir in a Carolingian setting, and I think I pulled it off.
Awesome. It's a real amazing story. And I know this is going to be one of those things that's going to be an added plus to people getting volume 39. All right. And then I also am just asking all the winners from volume 39 to wave or shout or something like that so we can see you all. This is great. So welcome here, and we'll be able to definitely be able to get more from you later on as we. Oh yeah, what TJ Knight just did, he waves to everybody. So that's a good thing to do. So you set off really good there. So as did Desmond and Stair, congratulating. He was a grand prize winner last year. So, all right. So with that, I really want to especially welcome tonight's guests, our special guests. Tom Wood is the creator of the cover art entitled Wyvern Crucible. For those not familiar with Tom Wood's incredible fantasy art, you can find him at tomwoodfantasyart.com. So Tom, we're opening up so you can say a few words.
Well, John, first of all, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here with everyone tonight. It's a very proud moment, especially being a judge at Writers of the Future for the past 2 years, and I get to see all the talent that's come in and the legacy of amazing covers over the past 39 volumes. It set a very high bar, which was really exciting to try to, even come up to that level of creativity and expertise. So when you guys brought or offered me the opportunity to do it, it was very exciting. So I'm very proud of what we came up with in the end. So I hope everybody else will be too.
Absolutely. And then Kevin J. Anderson is the author of the Dan Shamble zombie PI story based on the cover art. It's called Fire in the Hole. Dan Shamble faces one of his funniest and most perplexing cases ever. An enlightened ogre, a salamander with low self-esteem, and a raging fire dragon terrorizing the unnatural quarter. By the way, everyone attending tonight's event will receive a free copy of a Dan Shamble zombie PI adventure audiobook story recorded by Kevin himself called Beware of Dog. So thank you, Kevin. So would you like to say a few words, Kevin?
Well, I think it's just really cool to me that, I've had a very successful writing career and I keep doing things, but no matter where you go, you keep still having bucket list items. And I entered the very first year of Writers of the Future when I was a couple of stories published, an aspiring writer, and I kept submitting it. And eventually I got to the point where I was a guest lecturer at the workshop. And then I became a judge. I don't know what Joni probably knows, 25 years ago or something like that. And now I've got the cover story with Tom's paintings. So it's just, I love doing this and I love this story, and we'll talk about it a little bit more later, but I'm just very, very thrilled that circumstances have led me on this really exciting path.
Awesome. Thank you very much. All right. So now I'm very proud to reveal the cover for L. Ron Hubbard Presents Writers of the Future, Volume 39. All right, so that's pretty cool, don't you think?
Yeah, very cool.
So you're absolutely welcome to share your enthusiasm on the chat. And then now I want to invite Tom to talk about what he did to create the cover. And while he's in the middle of talking, we're going to pull out the cover itself, and then we'll pull out the full front and back so you can see the whole spread as he's talking to explain it. So over to you, Tom.
Well, I think it was last September. It wasn't very long after we had the show last year, but or I came off my tour, show tour, but Maliva had approached me about doing the cover, and I was like, okay, well, show me the story. And she's like, well, there is no story right now. Whatever you want to do is fine. And I'm like, are you sure? And I'm like, well, we may have some input. So I'm like, yeah, just come back to me what you think would be a great cover or just a concept, and then I'll take it from there. And so a couple of days later, she comes back and says, well, we've seen a couple of your printed pieces, and we know that commercially you have a really cool style with your fire element animals and stuff like that. I've done a phoenix and a tiger and stuff like that. She goes, we would really love to see something along those lines. It's because it's so we haven't seen much of that in the past, and we'd love to see your take on something. So I never hit her back with the concept. I just started sketching, and then I really loved the dragon was coming along great. So instead of me, showing a sketch to Maliva and saying, what do you think? I just kept going. And because I was like, if I get this really polished, she can't tell me no at this point. So I just kept going with it. And luckily, thank goodness, she really loved it. And but it was just the dragon, and I started working on a castle in the background. And I said, let's talk to Kevin. He may have some concepts. He may have some ideas of what would work with the story that he's going to have to write to fit this illustration, which I'd never even heard of that before. So we hit Kevin up with it. So, and then he chimed in. So it was a really interesting dynamic after that.
What about the back cover there?
The back cover, well, actually, Kevin could probably tell you more about that than I can. But I know that I thought that was a great tie-in as far as what created this creature, because there's a reason for it, and we know I wanted to tie in the back with the pagoda that has a part of the story, and the creation of the fire dragon that you're seeing on the cover. So that all plays a large part in the story. Not that I want to throw out any spoilers for people that's wanting to read the story.
Kevin?
Right. Well, and I was being very careful, like, oh, we can't spoil that part. We can't.
Yeah, I know. I think I may have already done a lot of spoiling. I don't know.
No, but nobody ever listens to us anyway, Tom, so they'll forget it in time. So, so it was, I think it was almost 2 years ago when at the Writers of the Future event, Maliva asked me if I'd be interested in writing the cover story, whatever the cover art was. And in fact, she showed me a totally different cover art. And I said, if you're a flexible and imaginative writer, you're kind of like an improv comedian, or somebody throws out a prompt to you and you go, sure. And then you make up a story based on that. And I've done that enough times that I was sure I could come up with something, but I kind of had an ulterior motive, because I have this character in a series that I just absolutely love. It's Dan Shamble, zombie PI, and it's humorous horror urban PI. It's like the Addams Family meets the Rockford Files, and he always solves cases with mummies and vampires and ghosts, and he lives in this sort of a noir New Orleans thing called the Unnatural Quarter. And I've kind of made a game for the past oh gosh, 7, 8 years, that anytime somebody asks me for a story for an anthology, I'm going to try to make it a Dan Shamble story. And so I told Maliva I wanted to do a Dan Shamble story, and she said, great. And then I'm working with Tom, and Tom sends me this picture of a giant fire dragon. I'm going, so I've got this noir zombie private investigator in New Orleans, and Tom gives me a giant fire dragon. Okay, I'll come up with something with that. Well,
in my defense, Dan Shambles is never mentioned.
Well, but that's kind of the game. And I thought, all right, I'll figure this out. And he had originally painted a castle down. See where that pagoda is? He had a castle. And we talked on the phone a couple of times. We just thought, a castle, let's try to do something more interesting. And he did that beautiful pagoda there, because of course a pagoda is even more belonging in New Orleans than a castle is, but it all ties together, I promise. And there's as John said, there's a salamander with low self-esteem. There's an enlightened ogre who runs an ashram, which is what the pagoda is, because it's a Chinese restaurant that went out of business and they turned it into something else. So you can do improv and work with this. And the graduates of this ashram, they get an amulet that's called the Amulet of Importance, because it sounds big enough. And so Tom painted the amulet on the back cover, but we won't tell you anything else about the story other than I promise you it's really, really stupid. And I mean that in the best possible way. But Tom was, Tom was just showing stuff, and I went, how about this? And how about this? And it was this great interactive thing. And I love this story, and I love the painting, and it all ties together.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And also your description of the dragon, I thought was fantastic. I mean, as far as the way you described it, it fit the illustration so wonderfully. And I think you did a great job. And the story was hilarious. One of the funniest things I've read in many years. So yeah, I'm a fan of Dan Shamble now.
Yeah, it's definitely, if anybody you're familiar already with Dan Shamble, Zombie PI, it's a whole series I read when you first started it, however many years ago. You sent around, I got a link and I read it. It was like, wow, this is way different than anything else you've done before. And it was so enjoyable, Kevin. So this is great. And it's awesome that you've offered this free audiobook recorded by Kevin himself. I've listened to it.
Let's talk about that, because I do a lot of the Dan Shamble short stories, and I recently went into the studio and I recorded there are 6 novels and 2 short story collections. And I went into the audiobook studio and I recorded all of the novels and a bunch of the short stories. And I thought, why don't I just separate out one of the coolest short stories and give that to you guys who came here tonight? Everybody gets a free download to just listen to the Dan Shamble story called Beware of Dog. And it features Harry, the rogue werewolf cop, and his hellhound that gets dog-napped, and Dan Shamble has to find the missing dog. And there's a appearance with Gita, Geta. So it's the Gremlins for ethical treatment of animals, and there's more. So I hope you love it as much as I do. I love the story I did for this volume with Tom's artwork. And I love the audio.
It's definitely good. It's very much appreciate what you did here, because it is way cool. And you bring a whole audience, hopefully, that follows with it and wants to get this story, because this is the only way they're going to get it, at least for now. So this is good. So on one thing I wanted to say, I think we got the link is in the chat right now to be able to pre-order. And if anybody's planning on pre-ordering, if you already pre-ordered, please do the, what's that thing called, Emily? The nerd emoji. The nerd emoji. Somebody, if you're not sure what that is, somebody posted the nerd emoji so that they can see what it is. So we're tracking with that. But we'll go along here. So now, when you pre-order the Rise of the Future Volume 39, you get various things, starting off with the e-bundle. So the e-bundle, or it is the e-bundle, it starts off with the desktop or mobile or tablet wallpaper. So it fits on your computer, your phone, or your iPad tablet. You also get 2 free stories from Rise of the Future Volume 38 ebook. You get 2 stories as an ebook. And you also get the advice for new writers. It's e-tips from these 7 amazing authors. You got Edward Hubbard, plus you got the other 6 there who are all current or past judges of the contest. And then the way you do it is you pre-order volume 39, on which we'll show you where you can go to pre-order it. You then email that proof of purchase to customers at galaxypress.com, and you'll be sent a link that you can then download your e-bundle. And then when the book releases, you obviously get the book. And then when you go to galaxypress.com, you'll be able to see this page. And when you go to Rise to the Future Volume 39, and on the bottom, you can see all different places where you can order your books, including your favorite indie bookstore. If there's any booksellers here, thank you very much for joining us. We definitely want to make sure that people know that you can go to that link and put in your zip code, and you'll find the nearest indie bookstore to you. But you also notice in that second item on the bottom there, it says Audible. For the first time in a while, we're going to have an audiobook for Rise to the Future Volume 39. So we're going to be releasing that at the same time as the book release. So we're very excited about that. We have 3 amazing voice talents. Jim Meskimen, who was the director on all of our audiobooks that we did for The Stories from Golden Age, Battlefield Earth, and his wife, Tamara Meskimen, and daughter, Taylor Meskimen, do all the different voices. They all do voiceover work, acting. So they're creating and doing all the stories in Rise to the Future Volume 39, which will be then released. It's currently listed on Audible that you can pre-order it. And after tonight's, then you'll actually see the cover of the thing. Right now, it's just a blank. But after this event, you'll be able to see what the cover looks like on all the different pages. But anyway, so we're very excited about this. This is literally late breaking news on the audiobook. So this is breaking news for all the winners too and the judges, because we hadn't announced that this was happening. So again, you can pre-order your copy by clicking the link in the chat. And then again, post the nerd emoji if you plan on pre-ordering. And then on the final thing here, we got two last parts of this little event here. One is we have a promotional trailer that we did for the release of Volume 39. And then we'll open up after this for people to be able to well, actually, first of all, are there any questions that I haven't addressed? Let me check the chat here. If there are, Emily, can you alert me to that as well? Well, thank you, Scott Knoll, for ordering too. I'm just going to run through this thing right now in case we have anything here. Brad Hedgecorth, thank you on your thanks on the audiobook.
Mike asked if that was the first audiobook. There are 4 other audiobooks at Audible right now from Vols 32 to 36.
Okay, that's for Mike Walgart, yes. And again, if there's any, thank you, Darren Littman, for pre-ordering. And Sarah, pre-ordered. Bob Weber. Yes, it is new to you and it is good. So you need to order 10, Bob. Okay, good. So everybody else so we got a lot of people that said they're pre-ordering, which is awesome. Thank you very much for that. And then so here what I'm going to do now is pull up, and if you have any questions you want to ask, put them in the chat, and then we're going to play now this release trailer, and then we'll go back to that. All right. So there you go. We're really excited about this one. We've got a lot of different promotion marketing ideas coming up that we're going to be executing to make this thing go. Kevin and Tom are going on a 50 city book tour in the month of May.
Okay.
Like the good old days, Kevin.
No, those weren't good old days. No. Been there, done that.
Yes, you have.
There is a question for Tom in the chat.
Okay, good.
Hmm.
And
Did you work digitally or oils traditional media? Well, that's a great question. I trained originally in traditionals, but as the decades passed in my career, I moved more to digital. So my illustration always starts as a pencil sketch and then an ink, and then I'll usually do a scan of that or a high-res photograph, and then I'll digitally paint it in Photoshop, usually with a Wacom pen. Looks like this is your airbrush and paintbrush these days. There we go.
yeah. Cool biz. Thank you. And then Kevin from Jean-Paul Garnier, what are some of the challenges of writing a story based on a pre-existing image?
Well, I've been doing this all my career where people will give you a story prompt and you just run with it. And in fact, that is one of the seminal exercises in the Writers of the Future workshop. I remember Algis Budrus used to give all the students, he would give them a keychain or a door hinge or something and say, there, go write a story about it. And that was sort of a skill that you learn as a writer. Like, okay, here's my running start. And Tom gave me a whole lot more than a door hinge to work with. This was a whole big, cool dragon. And it's just then what do you do and build a story around it? And, that's kind of the way I've studied a lot of history, the old pulp magazines and Astounding Stories and Amazing and all that. I don't know if L. Ron Hubbard did this, but a lot of the writers at the time, the editor would bring them into the office and say, here's the cover for the next issue, write a story for it. And you learn how to do that. And, I'm a working writer. I love to tell stories. I'm not an artiste and sit in a mountain and wait for the muse to inspire me on something. That this is my day's work and I want to do it. And if I get to write stories about fire dragons instead of writing a user manual for a insurance software, I've got the better job, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's very similar to the art field too, because our clients come in and they give us, either really great ideas or really poor ones, and we have to make it look as good as possible. And but coming up with my own creative concept and then letting Kevin bounce ideas back and forth with Kevin on it, it was really a really cool experience, and then a lot of trust because of course Kevin's a legend. So giving him that piece and trusting him that he's going to make it more than what I give him, he did a great job at.
Absolutely. And Nina Krika Hoffman, one of our first judges way back when she was a winner in volume 1, she asked Kevin, said, Kevin, don't you sit on a mountain anyway? So
yeah, but I don't wait for the muse to come. I go out and run dodging lightning bolts and stuff. But yeah, I do. I do my writing while here. I got to write. I go out hiking with my digital recorder, and that's how I do all my writing. And that's how I wrote this story. I went up and down the trails, and it took me maybe 2 days to write this. I wrote half one day and half it's like 7,000 or 8,000 words, I think. And you tell a story, and I laugh at my own jokes, so they must be funny, or I must be easily amused, one or the other.
absolutely. Okay, so we'll give everybody that still hasn't a chance yet. We'll post the link again so you can then pre-order. Now, I also want to let you all know that coming up on March 14th, and hopefully we can put the link in here as well, we have a special event happening where we're going to introduce all the winning illustrators in volume 39, and they're winning the 3 pieces of art that they submitted to win the contest. So we're going to introduce all 12 of our winners at a special basically introducing the winners of Illustrators of the Future and their winning art. So you can see all the different winning art they've got there, which is really exciting. We've never done this one before. So that's coming on March 14th, and the link will be here. And I'll send it around to everybody separately too, just in case you aren't able to track it. But it's really, the amount of amazing talent that this contest discovers every year is it's truly fantastic. Like I said, we have winners from 9 countries this year. Kevin has been a judge for 25 years at least, Kevin?
I was hoping Joni would know that it's over half of my life, it seems. So
yeah, you've been
it's
a big part of our life, so this is good. And then Tom has been a judge for you're 3 years now, Tom?
Yeah, this year will be my 3rd year.
Yeah. And then Jody's been a judge for several years, and we've got Nina Kariki Hoffman and Steve Sterling. They're all judges. So it's, a lot of work goes in, a lot of dedication goes to finding and discovering the next new talent. And a lot of what you see as judges are people that either were honorable mentions, they pro'd out earlier on in their career, and they never were able to actually be published in a book because they sold professionally, so they didn't qualify anymore to enter. But so many of our judges were honorable mentions or finalists in the story in the Rise of the Future earlier on in their career. Brandon Sanderson was, Rob Sawyer was. We also had our winners, Dave Farland, who passed away, and Eric Flynn passed away. They were both winners turned judges. And like I said, Nina, Sean Williams, who's in Australia. We've also got Sean Tan, who's down there in Australia. So we've got several people who've moved up the ranks, and I've interviewed several people as well, like just at random. Are you familiar with the contest? Oh yeah, I got an honorable mention when I first started writing. So after 4 decades, one would expect that, but it's really what happens. So you can't go wrong when you get this book, and if you tell others and share this news with other people as well. We're announcing 12 new voices in writing and 12 new voices in illustration that people want to know. And these are the voices that will be the new generation of writers and illustrators. So you can get it while they're brand new and just say, I was there at the beginning of their careers. And Dean Wesley Smith was a winner in year 1 and now is a co-editor with Jody. And Dean was a published finalist. So what I could do is show the cover once again for the latecomers so you can see what it is, and then fully lock in that and just definitely take advantage of this to pre-order your book. And then we'll show the cover one more time, and then I'm gonna open it up so everybody can make any comments you want to. So here's the cover. Yeah, that cover just rocks. It is so beautiful. All right, so let's open up right now. If anybody has any wants to say anything to Kevin or to Tom, you can welcome to shout over each other. So you can unmute.
Did you want me to unmute everybody?
Yeah,
release the Kraken.
exactly.
All right, I just asked everybody to unmute.
Okay.
Hey, I enjoyed this. This is my first shot with you guys. Thanks.
Welcome.
Yeah, it was definitely an amazing event. And what about the winners? What do you think of this thing here? Now's the chance. We've taken the mute off. You can speak up, and because I definitely am interested in what you guys think of it, because it's your book.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
It really does.
Awesome.
Excellent. Looks excellent.
You all
That's
earned your
incredible.
place in it. You all did wonderful stories. I was so pleased.
We can't wait to meet all of you.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
Oh yeah. Babe.
See you in April.
One
Absolutely.
of the neat things about being a judge in this is that you don't have to read any bad stories. I haven't come across one yet.
Well, speak for yourself. But they don't get into the book. Yeah, they don't get into the book.
John, your
Absolutely.
first review is awesome.
Say that again.
I said your first review from Bearing Out and Review is awesome.
Awesome. That's great.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Barry.
We'll definitely take
Hey,
that.
Kev. Hey, Jody.
Hey, hope you're well.
Oh, Dean's
Doing
here.
well. Doing well.
So Dean just arrived. So we're going to give Dean a chance to say something.
Everyone say
Dean?
hi, Dean.
Hi, Dean.
Where is
So
he?
muted.
He's at the very end.
Muted at the
He
end.
needs to unmute.
Anyway, any other winners want to say anything while he's unmuting and getting locked and loaded here?
That's just the most beautiful cover. I'm so proud. I can't, speechless. Somebody said they were speechless, and somebody else said, "You were writer, you're supposed to think of words," but it's just a fantastic cover. I'm so proud to be in the volume with it.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Tom shows some promise.
They may be able to string a sentence together here and there.
That
All
cover
right,
was really
so
good.
we have Dean here now.
He's there. Hi, Dean.
Hey, sorry about being late.
There
Love
you
means
are.
never having to say you're sorry. Okay, so
Little black
you're
cat.
so Dean is co-editor this year. He was the very first person to be acknowledged on the stage for volume 1. And he became a judge when he was actually able to do it, however many years ago, 15 or whatever years ago. And then he was the co-editor this year of volume 39 with Jody. So anyway, so everybody else had an opportunity to say something when I was introducing them. So do you want to say a few words there, Dean? Thank you very much, Dean. Okay.
Yeah, no. But I will turn off my email so it doesn't make that noise. How's that? But no, it's just been fun being around Writers of the Future all these years. I just can't believe it's going on 40 years. I just don't feel that old.
Great. Well, anyway, thank you very much for your help on this book. And thank you also very much for being a judge. Very much appreciate your help and support of this contest all these years.
It's been my pleasure, actually. Totally.
Absolutely.
So John, I have a question.
Okay.
Like, when is there going to be a competition for the illustrators to compete for the cover illustration?
Oh.
Yeah.
Once we're done going through all of our judges covers. Well, basically the way that works is as the illustrators continue to expand their chops and become judges, then they're invited to do a cover. So it's all there. We got it all figured out.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, we've got some of our judges, our past winners, and we're going to be bringing on more people as well as judges for the illustrator contest. And it's one of the best pools we've got for resources because they themselves have experienced literally the miracle of what Writers of the Future and Illustrators of the Future has to offer. And we'll want to share it and pass it on themselves to the next generation. So,
okay.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
How's that for an answer? Okay, good. Any other questions?
I see Peter Green.
Say what?
I see Peter Green. Did a past cover for us. Hi, Peter.
Hi. Yeah. No, I'm just admiring the enthusiasm of everybody here. And one thing I want to say about Tom is that from one artist to another is the challenge of coming up with a dragon that hasn't been seen before has been handled by yourself.
Oh, thank you, Peter. That's
Yeah.
really good coming from you.
Enough with these scales,
Hey, scales are okay.
Yeah. No, I by the way, Tom, I really appreciate your sports characters too. The range from dragon to sports characters is a very broad range.
Oh yeah. Well, that's kind of been my past as far as my professional connections in the sports licensing industry has always been, it's been profitable, but it's always been fun because I've always been, a sports enthusiast. But the fantasy art, that's what started this entire journey. So getting to go do both and be able and not be stuck in one genre all the time I think is what's been able to keep my enthusiasm for the art, fresh all these years. So
New character, I'm gonna say.
No.
Oh, good. We also got one for Eric Stetz, which says, love the fact that I was able to pre-order from a local bookstore near me. So that's awesome. We definitely support our local
Yay.
bookstores.
Yay.
So that's great.
Yay.
Bookstores are cool.
Please, if you don't support them, they won't be there.
Yeah. Yes. And then just for anybody else that doesn't know, the actual event, the awards ceremony is going to be April 28th here in Hollywood. It will be streamed live, and we'll be sending out a lot of advance notices on this so you can know that. But it's definitely a save the date, April 28th, and it starts streaming live at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So, and you're familiar with the event itself, so you'll be able to watch it. But we're very excited about this. It's an amazing. Whenever we have a bunch of such a diverse cultures that come into our event each year, it's way fun just seeing that. You see it in the art, what you see when the book gets published. You see winners. We have 2 winners for the first time from Costa Rica. I think I see one of them here. Wave, Jose, welcome Jose out from Costa Rica, and then who else do we have from? Do we also have our other winner from Costa Rica here?
I don't see Chris.
Yes, Chris is here.
Oh, great.
Hello.
Where?
Hello, Chris. Welcome. He's there somewhere. And then we also
Page
have
2.
our first winner from
You said Romania.
Romania.
I don't believe she is here.
Okay, she was trying to, but she obviously didn't make it then.
Okay, stuck.
But anyways, this is great that we have so many different people, as well as from UK and from China and from Vietnam, and I forget all the different countries, but like I said, 9 different countries. So which is amazing. Never had this many before. So anyway, so that's April 28th, and let's see if there's any other questions.
Pardon me.
All right. So anyway, so if that's
capture that pre-order link if you haven't yet.
okay, good. Yeah, there's a pre-order link that you can get, and then again, on this 14th of March at 6 p.m. Maliva, 6 p.m.
Yes, 6
Pacific
p.m.
time. Yeah, we got the link here, so that's going to be where you'll be able to meet all the illustrator winners and see the art that they won with, and it gives you a chance to see how good you have to be. And you just get to see some amazingly diverse art styles, because it's all these different countries. We don't have like everything has to be a Disney style, or everybody has to be what you see and that comes out from Hollywood. It's like whatever it is, it's an amazingly creative art, and it doesn't matter that it's what country it's from. It's like it has to be really creative. Obviously, it has to be speculative fiction, and it always works. These guys are amazing. So thank you very much for attending. I really appreciate this. And for everybody that didn't have a chance to get your book yet, take that chance right now. And we'll be in touch with more. We have a lot more things happening between now and the release event on April 28th. But if you're haven't subscribed already to the Rise of the Future newsletter, please do so. We have a lot of great stuff. You're going to be able to meet these people in more detail. We have a lot of other past winners we still work with. You see NB Haskell here. Nicole's very active on doing stuff. I think Steve Pandanzas, I saw him. There's several past winners that are here.
Desmond in there.
What's that?
Desmond and Mike.
Yeah, Desmond is there, and Mike and Scott Noel going way back to pre-Cambrian there.
Yeah.
And,
1990.
Yeah. So anyway,
John
thank you very
Becker
much for
and John Haas.
joining us, and we'll see you later. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, John, everyone.
Good night.
Night.
Night all.
Thank you.
Bye, Steve Brubaker.
See you all soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, April.
All right.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Jody.
Bye, Sisu.
Goodbye from Nashville.
Sarah.
Oh,
Hey,
well.
Mr.
Thanks,
Brubaker.
guys.
Goodbye.
Hi, Desmond. Bye-bye.
See you,
Hi,
Desmond.
Galaxy Author Service peeps.
Good to see you.
Miss you. Hey,
Bye,
Jason.
Tom. Hi, Joni. Finally see your face. Hi.
Hey.
Hi, April. Yay.
Bye, Tom. Congratulations. It's beautiful work.
Oh, thanks, Suzu. I
It is
appreciate that.
I actually published that I didn't know who you were, so I'm sorry. Now I need to start following your.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm a Dragon fan as well, so that cover is just, oh my god.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. No,
When
yeah,
did you-
I think we were all pretty excited with it. And then, of course, that was when you're handing over artwork to people that sing, that works with Dan DeSantos and Echo and, Cerulio, who does dragons. That's all he does. So when you put something up like that, when you're going up, not going up against them, but you have to display your artwork to these, heavy hitters, then it's, it's a little nerve wracking, but it's exciting too. So.
That's a very.
And like Peter said, trying to come up with something different that hasn't been seen a million times with dragons was a lot of fun. So
what did you think of Mr. William Joseph Roberts?
Hillbilly.
Do what?
Hillbilly, what did you think of it?
What, of the cover? Cover
Yeah.
was freaking awesome, man. I mean, it's beautiful coloring. I love dragons, so you can't knock that part.
Yeah.
Good. And we already got Barry on his comment. So thank you very much for that. And so I guess this is as close I'm going to see you, but that's fine. Barryon's been reviewing Rise of Future since you go back all the way to volume 1.
I know I go back to volume 8, but I'm not sure about beforehand.
But he's reviewed every volume since volume 8 then. So it's amazing. It's so appreciative.
So appreciated.
And the love Jody, we've met many times, and she's always thrilled me with everything she's ever written. So
Oh, you are so kind. I really appreciate
and we know Kevin's a buddy from way back as well. So
nice.
And then you have to remember Dean Wesley Smith bought my first review for Pulp House magazine.
Oh, wow.
So I've got ties with this community that's just unbelievable and have made a career out of a lot of people. And I have just enjoyed being there on the backside.
Well, thank you very much, Barry. It's very much appreciated. All right. So I guess we given a chance for everybody to make their final comments and to hang on to those last images of people's faces.
So this
Tom
is the
and
after
Kevin.
party.
The after party, yes.
Joni was missed at Superstars this year.
Yeah.
Yep. We tried.
Yep.
We tried. All right. So anyway,
right, so
so
I've
we'll
saved
see you guys
everything.
more later on. And now I'm going to ring off